Good evening, all in podcast land. Welcome to another edition of the. Hello, what are we? Who are we, Eddie?
We are the CoEd edition of Birds of a Feather.
There you go. Apparently, Eddie's with it, and Lord knows he just got home. So thank God he knew what we were doing. Okay, so back up. We're gonna start again. That says under my name, AJ, the Suburban Princess. That's your boy Eddie B, saving my butt here. Welcome again to Birds of a Feather, the CoEd edition. Tonight we're going to just gleam over such a fabulous 11-1 win that we kind of saw coming, but we both thought it was going to be tight. But let's just be honest. Thank God that score was what it was. Tell me your first emotions by the end of the game, because if I don't know about you, but at that I was waiting for the shoe to drop again, and then it didn't.
My emotions after that game was fuck the Titans. No, I was kidding.
Oh yes, yeah. We have to continue the story because Eddie made it clear why he wanted them to beat their asses.
No, I just I wanted them to beat them so bad just because of how many people kept saying it. Oh, the Titans could be Eagles' tough test. They're gonna run all over them. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be able to keep up.
Yep.
Well,
about that.
What happened was 11 carries and 30 yards, 20 something yards later.
Let me just tell you how we're going to talk about how the first quarter scared me a bit because they had 20. Everybody on the O-line caught a penalty for false start.
You know what? I wasn't scared, but I was getting annoyed about the penalties.
Okay, annoyed, scared, mad. You felt something though because it kept happening. So you were like, really?
We had 4 false starts all year, and we doubled it. And the total in the first half of the game.
I had to put it on Twitter, the Oprah thing. I said, "You get a flag. You get a flag. You get a flag."
Oh, you should saw me. I'm yelling at the TV at my friend's Steph's house. I'm like, "How the fuck is this happening?" And she was like, looked at me, and I was like, "There's no excuse. They're not home. They're home. There's no hard count. There's no silent count. But how are they making these goddamn mistakes?"
It was just embarrassing because even the commentator said, because they spent a whole piece before the game talking about the O-line and the Christmas album.
I mean, they still
here they go.
Yeah, exactly. And they still play. O-line still played great, but they just made all those stupid mistakes.
It was just embarrassing. It was just, we're used to a false start here and there. Like Lane capped it off at some point, and then all of a sudden Landon joined in, and then it became Melada.
Then everybody joined. Then everybody joined in. Everyone's like, "I want to do one too."
Look, and then of all the calls, the one I hate. I didn't hear anything about an eligible player down the field, but they threw away the false starts left and right, flag.
They didn't do it. Yeah,
it was crazy because I told you I hate that call, and that was the only call that didn't get pulled because they pulled every other freaking thing out their ass all that game.
Yeah, right.
It was such a lack of concentration. I couldn't tell you. Now, I don't know. We don't know pre-snap what was really going on, but I know when they showed Jalen talking to the O-line on the sidelines because you see as quickly as
you saw how mad he was. His face.
He was the last couple times it happened, he threw the ball because you could tell he was like, "Come the fuck on!" Like really, but he made it. He was right because it got to the point where it's like, what can I do? You know what I mean? If you're not hearing what I'm saying, then it's got to be y'all.
But you know what? They fixed the problem. They didn't do it that much in the second half at all.
Well, when it first started happening, look what happened. Every time every time they literally took a foot, they went a yard, or however the saying is. But the point is they made do with every time they lost more yardage. Next thing you know, Jalen and Devonta connected first, then it came out to AJ. Then it came out to then they were running the ball everywhere. So they overcame it. But they shouldn't have had. They were supposed to be playing the Titans, not themselves.
You know, this morning, Jeff Stoutland gave it to the O-line today.
I think everybody wants to be a fly on the wall to hear the cursing.
I'm sure he was probably like, what happened? I'm sure he's like, what's wrong?
I saw one F-Mob
or maybe he gave it to him in the locker room because they came out and they only did one or two after that.
One or two, because it was between Landon when he came back in there after going out, and then Melada again, and then that was it. And then after that, it was stupid stuff.
But I couldn't believe when they called the one on Jalen when he's on center.
I must have missed because I remember people were saying it on Twitter, and I don't remember that. I remember someone saying you call false start on a quarterback
who's allowed to move.
Right. So are they getting that confused? Was it the feet that they keep watching, or are they
No,
getting confused?
his feet didn't move. He moved his upper body because he shifted a little bit, like he was about to lean in some more, and then they fucking like he is allowed to readjust. The quarterback is.
I could have sworn I know that one that was clear as day. Even the camera showed it where the Titans guy adjusted first, and that was clearly a bad call because
Well,
I
yeah,
text you that.
that's the one.
That's the one that clearly his butt. Okay, that was the jail. Okay, I didn't
And
connect that. That was the Jalen
they
one.
called it on Jalen. Yeah,
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
I just remember seeing it because even the commentators going, clear as day." They're
Well,
like, "That's a
we
bad
got away with
call."
a big one though. It's during the one. It was like it was at the goal line. He shifted completely. He moved, but he got right back real fast. He got lucky because the ref was sliding this way. He was sliding to this side, and he didn't see him, so he took his eyes
Oh,
off
that's
of the
why those
line.
Titan players were going like this, like
Yeah,
before they.
yup,
Okay.
yeah. That's why they were pointing at him, but
They kept going like this, and then at that point, I'm irritated as a viewer because I'm just like, "Why are y'all still bitching about it? Just go." You know what I mean? Like, I
yeah,
was so annoyed at that point because we were like, "I don't know what's happening pre-snap, but y'all were highly distracted for most of the game." It was kind of
yeah.
annoying, and then after a while, you could tell Titans were just
Oh,
trying to pick
that
fights.
one bullshit holding call on Kelsey when the guy was falling,
Thank you. I saw that
and
too because his head
Kelsey
went down here, and Kelsey
and
just went like
Kelsey
that.
Kelsey was just standing there. He didn't fall on him. He didn't push him down. He didn't hold him
No,
down. And they threw the holding call.
which
Everybody's
I didn't
like,
think he was catching the guy as he was kind of moving. It was like
I've
everything
seen
happened at once because he went forward.
I've seen worse than that, and they don't call it. But I mean, tell me, you called that?
I thought that actually was funny at first because when I first looked at it,
I was laughing at it though. I was
it
like,
was a
what the
funny one
hell?
because once they play the replay, then you're like, okay. And then you got to the point where everybody on social media was like, now they just making shit up because they don't even know what holding. You can tell because it got to the point where all the memes of all the flags on the ground, they're just like, it's a
Yo,
flag party.
we got put what 11 times for 70 yards or
11
something.
for 70 yards. That's ridiculous. The most, like you said, all season we got in one game and doubled it. So to me, it was the refs, definitely, because I think that even the commentators agreed that they were just making, and you could tell someone said that call with Jalen became a makeup call with the whole thing with Kelsey.
Yeah,
So they tried to like give one back, and
but
it's like not slick.
my one thing is like, hey, Jalen did one thing yesterday. It was great, and everybody kept saying this was his knock on him all week. People kept saying, "Oh, he can't beat you with his arm. He can't beat you with his arm." What
Yeah,
happened? What did
thank
he
you.
do?
And
What
he
did he
broke
do?
the record.
What did
He
he do?
beat your ass with it with his
Three
arm.
TDs, 300 something yards,
Technically, they could have had one extra
zero,
touchdown, and then
zero,
they give it to him.
zero picks.
That's true.
Like his passer rating was over 100. His
And the one
comp
time he
rating
even
was
fumbled, it went right back to Kelsey, so it didn't even
yeah.
count.
It's not a
So it wasn't even
loss.
a
Yeah,
fumble. Right.
yeah,
Oh, you're right.
yeah. It
Everything he
doesn't
went
count.
downfield. He went harder and harder, corner to corner. And that one had they just, although it was kind of obvious that AJ's foot went out, had they given
Yeah.
that to him, that would have been in
I
there.
mean, but the funny thing was AJ on the second play right after that, he gets a 40-yarder again for
Open,
the end zone.
wide open.
Because the guy, he knows the rules. You are not allowed to impede their route like that, and he can
And then
run you
ran the
over.
motherfucker over. So that's why he was more hurt because his ego was
And he
hurt.
hurt him, and he got hurt too on that
And I
play. I was like,
swear, because when they showed the ref talking to the coach and the coach was laughing, I swear he must have said, he goes, motherfucker's just ego just hurt. That's all he's mad about. Because
yeah, right,
you saw Coach Sirianni just start laughing. I said, he's probably going, he's just mad because he fell. I
yeah,
mean, your ego's hurt at that point when he just runs through you. AJ's like, I don't lift weights for nothing, bitch. Like, I'm really trying to get out of to
yeah,
the end
right.
zone.
Like he's like, I'm playing. Like
But how beautiful was that one pass to AJ that literally was between him and the him and the
right
defender
off
are
the right off
basically
the guy's
bear hugging
right off the guy's shoulder.
right
He
in the
catches it.
bucket. That
Right,
is the
yeah.
one that I think I texted you. I was like, oh my God. I said he
And
is
I
freaking amazing.
and I love that first catch like to Devonta
Yes.
when Devonta caught it and just boop. The
He
guy went
literally just waited a beat because he said, I know they're right on me. Let me
guy
just go
just
turn around.
guy just slammed on his brakes, turned around, and the guy went flying right past him.
I tell
And
you, skinny,
he
skinny,
runs it in
skinny Batman went in there just like, and what? And
and he
I'm the
runs it
first
in the end
one.
zone.
And we overcome like 15,000 penalties. And I'm still in. So
I think this is the first time in a while we had two receivers with 100 yards.
it was because I put that stat on
Yeah,
yeah, they were making
and
sure they put
100
it there.
yards and a touchdown at
Yep.
least. So that's crazy. Yeah,
Everybody ate. And that's what made that win even sweeter, considering even I told you I thought this is now probably when the losses start coming, because I'm assuming that even when they go in New York, I wouldn't mess with the Giants, even though now the Giants and Redskins done screwed themselves because they both in the tie category, and everyone hates a tie around this time of year because they can make or break you.
Because it doesn't really help you.
No, we've been there before.
It doesn't hurt you and it doesn't help you at all.
No, it's annoying, is what it is.
Yeah, it's like limbo. Yeah,
It's like somebody sticking a finger in your eye just the whole time, like, don't blink, don't
yeah,
blink. You
right.
know what I mean? That's what it is. Because come what end of December,
In the
it's
playoff
going to
race, it
determine whether
doesn't.
or not they can be a wild
Now,
card or not.
especially the fact that it came against a division, they don't get a division win out of it.
And I can't tell you when they cut to the game how in my head I said they better not end in a tie.
I
And
had
when
a
they
feel. I had a feeling it was going to
you had a
happen.
feeling, because when I
Yep.
cut, because I don't know if they cut. Wait, our game was on Fox too, right? So did they cut to that game? I
They
think they
did.
cut to that game.
Yeah, when the game is over, yeah, they went
Yeah,
right
yeah.
to.
But I had a feeling when it's still 2020, I said none of y'all could get a freaking kick in at least. My God, how
I
y'all
saw
both
it.
decide to
That
suck?
was like 2020 with 2 minutes left. Oh, this is going to end in a tie.
I
I was
thought
like,
for
this is going.
sure Washington had it, because I said whoever had to kick at that point, I said all they got to do is kick, right? But it was how
Giants.
many
The
yards?
Giants had every opportunity.
I mean, Danny will be good one moment, and then next thing you know, Danny don't know where to throw the ball to, and it's so discouraging.
The Giants should have won that game. They were right there. They couldn't advance the ball any further to make a better kick for the guy. I mean, he missed it. It was short, so it
Because
was
what was it, 58 yards?
almost. It was
Six.
almost 60. Yeah, it was like
Okay.
58, 59. Yeah,
That's what I thought. I'm telling you, if the view they give you on the camera makes you feel like it just went through, and then all of a sudden you see
it
them go,
just you just see it die. It's like going, it
because the way it
dies.
looks, yeah, from the
Yeah,
angle straight, I said, oh, they got it. And then I noticed that they went like this,
like
and I'm like,
nope.
oh, he missed it. Let me just tell you, any game that gets that dramatic in overtime, you should be embarrassed that you didn't at least get that kick.
Hey, the Raiders pulled one off too yesterday.
Yes, they did. Yes. And let's just talk about sidebar, just how sad some of these teams are about to whimper out, because some of them had opportunities to correct their records. And I just got to say straight up, like, I will always love this Justin Herbert kid, but I feel bad because the Chargers suck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Raiders definitely, I don't think we'll keep Derek Carr too much longer, but I think they're going to find a way to bullshit because they paid him or they're about to
Yeah,
pay him or
well,
whatever.
yeah, they don't have much to do
You know what
there.
I
So
mean? Some people can't afford to get rid of everybody, but so okay, so now they're going to go to New York. So at this point, I was glad that they even took Jalen out of Sunday's game, because I really didn't
I
think
mean, they pulled. I mean, what they pulled everybody. They put all the third stringers in.
it was the beginning of the fourth quarter, right?
It
Because
was like middle fourth. Yeah,
that's what
like
I thought, because he
pretty
had
much
like
the
9
beginning
minutes.
fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like 9 minutes, 10 minutes left in the game. They pulled everybody.
because Minshew had at least a little bit more time than normal. But yeah, like
Yeah.
when you get to that point, I'm thinking to myself, now you're going to start thinking about conserving everybody. Did you see
Did
the
you?
one sack that Fletch really wanted, that he chased homeboys? I said, someone
He was
said
like,
he get paid for sacks. He wanted that money.
he was like, I'm eat.
He said, "Oh, come here, mama.
Yeah, he
I don't
caught
think
him
my
too.
chances that much anymore."
He got him though.
He got him. I like the little
They
celebration
sacked him
too.
what 7 times, 6, 7 times.
Yes, I know it was more than 5. Yes,
Man,
which is so and considering he had a bum ankle, I was waiting for them to just put Malik in sooner, because I was like, why are they still letting
well
him
that
pop?
one when he tried to run away from Brandon Graham and Brandon Graham like ran him down from behind.
Look,
Or yeah, Sweat got
yeah,
him twice.
yeah,
Sweat got him twice.
because I know
Hargrave got him once. Yeah,
Sweaty was flying around, and I knew once BG got, I said, I think that's everybody, right? Everybody got a touch.
almost.
Just about everybody got a
They
sack. So yeah,
yeah.
but
Did
anyway,
Reddit get one or no?
I think teamed up again with what's his name,
It was somebody else. Yeah, because he
with
comes off flying off that edge. Yeah,
who's that homie? I always keep forgetting his name. Hargrave. I think him and
Hargrave.
Hargrave split one, because Hargrave's always the first one to get up there now. Um, but to end this talk for this game, the one thing that makes me comfortable is knowing that at this point, like I said, I'm not shocked if they lose this game in New
Yeah.
York. I'm not shocked if they lose the next two, because at
Mm-hmm.
this point, like I said, they have already locked in a definite place in the playoffs. But now it's going to be the battle for first place, because
Well, I want that first round bye though. I want
I do too. I wanted
because
everything to come through here.
especially with these extra games and
Yeah.
people's bodies getting beat up. I want them to have only have to win 2 games to get into the Super Bowl.
Look,
And
Jalen was strolling out into the tunnel, so I don't think he was doing his normal running. So he took some beating. I think everybody's
yeah,
hurt
and
this week.
our and we need that home field advantage. You know, there's just that stadium, that's the equalizer right there.
Well, it's always fun to. I mean, come on. Last time we had home field
I,
advantage
wa-
was
I
the Super
want
Bowl year.
I want people to come here in Philly in the freezing cold at the play. Yeah,
This this is the goal because I mean, if anything, it makes me want to go back and watch the DVD again for the Super Bowl year because I loved having Christmas game here or Christmas night as it was
yeah,
that year. But and also too, sidebar, talk about the fact that they kept King Henry down to what 30 yards,
barely.
barely
Yeah,
that.
just over 30, maybe 32.
Wasn't he supposed to be the main threat though?
Yeah, he's supposed to. Yeah,
I don't think
that's
they were plotting him right. If you ask me, I don't think that coach put him in the best. What do they say?
well,
The best
well.
position
It's
to
just the
succeed.
Eagles schemed for him better too. I mean, they were all over his ass.
This is true.
They were
I just felt
all
like he
over
would at
him.
least get one big run at least. I didn't think they
I
were going
mean,
to swallow him that hard, but that
there
was
was part
very impressive.
one when he got lit up by Lindell Joseph. The big motherfucker just grabbed
Yes.
his ass. I was
Now,
like,
also too, Eddie, when did they put in Big Baby? Because they said they put him in there, but they didn't put him in long. When did
he
you
was in
see?
he was in a couple times. I didn't see him that much, but he got in there a
Okay.
couple times. Yeah,
Okay, good.
and a lot of the tackles from on Henry came from the second. Like they had the Epps got him a couple times too,
Yeah,
and
Epps is
T.J. Edwards, yeah, and T.J. Edwards, of course. So
I'm worried about Epps because he took the wide receiver they had out, and I said Epps better be careful because he hit too much
yeah,
harder as Coles gets. He's gonna break his shoulder too. And I said too many guys are getting their shoulders
yeah.
pinged and dinged, and Epps when
I'm
he hits hard.
I'm just glad the guy was okay. I think he's okay. He
Yeah, he
walked
was
off.
concussed. He
So
was definitely concussed. I didn't- you know
yeah.
how every time it looks when you see it, it doesn't look like it hit
Well, when
that
I
hard.
saw his hand not his arm stuck in that spot, not moving, I was like, he's
Okay,
out. He is out. He's dead on. He's dead on his like, feet. Well, if he's on his feet, he'd be dead on his feet. But he was out on his
he's
back.
dead on
Just
arrival as soon as he got the
yeah,
ball. I'm
right.
shocked he held on
I'm surprised too.
because
I
I mean,
mean, the
'cause-
thing is, you
go
can't
ahead.
fault Epps for doing that. He was going for the ball.
No. It was the
Yeah,
impact of both of them together.
yeah, he
But
was going for the ball. He wasn't going for his head or anything. He was going for the ball,
oh,
and he happened
no,
to
because that's
just.
why I knew when he went the way it happened so quick, I couldn't tell, but I knew I said that impact either got him a whiplash or something, but I
Mhm.
wasn't sure how serious until he was down that long, and I said,
Yeah, because
"Oh,
it was all shoulder right into the chest.
yeah." So his
Yeah,
head chopped. Yeah, his head
yep.
went like that. But honestly, considering how that's what took Dallas out, and he didn't hold on to the ball. For this guy to get wallop like that and hold the ball, I give respect that he even got that touchdown. Because at that point, who the hell is thinking
Yeah,
about getting six? You're just worried if you can feel your neck at
I
that
mean,
point. He
only
must
difference
feel
was
like shit today.
Dallas is getting his neck wrenched downward too, so that was like,
True, and that's what I was trying to think so too. But everybody want to be hard headed and be like, he couldn't even hold on to the ball. I'm like, he didn't know if he felt his arm at that point, dude. So he probably lost feeling for a
but yeah,
hot
he
minute.
probably did. I mean, the guy yanked his neck down, pulled his head downwards to
Yeah.
the ground. He's like pulling all his weight on him too. Like, yeah,
Well, okay. So after,
which he got fined for it too later.
thank God.
Yeah, they fined him for that.
Well, I think after this week, him and Avante should be in the player activation window
I'm
too.
hoping Levante is back
Because
so bad.
we really need Avante, if anything, more than even Dallas. Because I think even the tight ends played pretty decent this weekend. Grant, I think Stoll got himself a couple good first downs, and then Grant
Mm-hmm.
did some good
Blank
things. So
Blankenship made a couple good tackles too. He's
yeah, yeah, and then N'Kobe. I didn't even
yeah,
realize N'Kobe was in there until like that first special teams hit, and then they got that guy from the practice squad, Ellis, totally changed the face of the special teams. So shout out at the adjustments because we
yeah.
were shitting on them like hard after last
We're
weekend.
calling for the coach's job.
Oh, we were calling for Michael Clay's job, but somebody said
Yo,
we're gonna need
you
some help.
you know who else showed up?
Who?
Cubby showed up.
Yes, let's talk about it.
I
Because
was like,
honestly, they gave him good field position though too. Honestly, he
yeah,
got a lot of good field position. But you're right, he
but
did.
he
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 needs
had
to run
he
north
had some
though.
solid returns. I was like,
He
when he
did.
had that 40 yard return, I was like, oh
Yeah,
shit, look at Cubby, look at
yeah.
Cubby.
I was tweeting. I said he's so lucky the punter had a bad day because he was giving him so much room. And then on top of that, I think maybe one of the two runs he did run north instead of going to the side, and then he
Yeah,
started going back to the side. But you're right. I was very impressed, and I kind of felt I was kind of mad because I said, "Shit, he's going to stay on the team." I said he's going to keep getting better. God dang it!
man, like, I
I was
was
hoping we'd
afraid.
get the Olympic runner for the hell of it.
I'm always afraid he's gonna get hurt though. God.
I'm always worried. I mean, even when they put Boston there, but Boston's just used to being hit, so he's like a human bowling ball. So I was kind of fine with them putting Boston in at times, but
Mhm.
I'm I'm waiting for Boston to break one because he has broken one in the past. I'm just waiting for him to do it again because he's literally like Sproles when he's not touched.
It's funny how our boy Sanders had he had a quiet game.
He did have a quiet game, but he also
I
went
mean, hey,
outside a lot, which I like because he caught more, which means
yeah,
his ball control is better because he used to
I
be the
mean,
one to drop a lot.
and he still got a TD too, so it's good.
Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah,
he served his purpose, and not everybody's going to have their night.
yeah,
It
and
was honestly about
they
AJ.
didn't, they really didn't need the running game
They
that
really
much
didn't. I
because
mean, it helped. I mean,
the Titans tried to take it away from us, but we were like, okay, you want to take it away from us, and
yeah, they threw it
we'll
by air, and then they went
yeah,
back to the ground game briefly because then what's his name showed up too, Kenny G. Kenny
yeah.
G showed up
Kenny
when it
had a
was
couple big
necessary.
ones, yeah, towards the
Right.
end, yeah.
So everybody got some, which I love because you love an even balanced game. That's what they need
Hmm.
to do more often. But like they said, you can't predict one game for the next. This weekend they might have to run a lot more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It might be all Miles next weekend.
it's a sign of a good football team.
This is true.
They figure out how to win in different ways.
And think about it. When people are
Yeah.
injured who have come back, that means you get a full roster by the time they don't really have to play as much. That's good.
Hmm.
By the time they can rest by week 16, 17,
Yeah.
all the guys who haven't gotten a lot of reps, they just gonna go in there for like a first series and then they take them
Oh
out
yeah.
like preseason. So
Yeah.
that's good. So I'm kind of glad Dallas isn't coming back this week actually, because even though Chicago's out of it and they probably, I don't know, that guy Justin Fields was running like a camp this weekend on Green Bay, but he
Yeah. But
literally had the whole team running after him by his damn
Green,
self.
Green Bay's defense is so spotty, so it's like
It's always been spotty. That's the
yeah.
thing. But
I mean,
they still
we're like
won.
we're number 2 or number 3 defense. This
Thank
just
God.
about almost. I mean, everybody talks about Dallas, but we're literally right there with Dallas, like in most categories, right behind them.
No, we're getting back neck and neck to them being our nemesis again in the division. But again, they won last night because obviously it's the Colts. You know, now mind you, all
Colts
the
played
social,
they play slightly better defense against us. I don't
and
know
that's
what they were.
basically what the difference was.
I don't know what was going on last night. And they had their shots.
They did, and they got sloppy. And then it got to the point where after a while, I think even Ryan was getting turned around, and he didn't know where to
Hmm.
throw. And then they
Yeah,
sacked him to death. So I mean, I don't think we got as many sacks in, but that's how you know the difference between our scheme and their scheme last night. And then after a while, it was just a rout. They couldn't even. They got within like it was like 20 something to 19, and I thought for sure because I had honestly dozed off, and then I woke up
yeah,
again because
yeah.
my sister.
That game was close at one point.
It was close, and so
Yeah,
that's why I thought to myself, if they still got this little gap, the Colts may shock the world tonight. But then I fell
yeah.
asleep, and then I had to wake
They
up.
just couldn't maintain it. Yeah,
They could maintain it because the fact that the Cowboys got 54 points, like you need a freaking break. On the Colts is not saying much. You know, social
mm.
media will run us up and down. There were a
uh,
lot of
well, they
Cowboy fans talking
love the
shit. You know,
Cowboys. You know how it
oh
is.
yeah, they're like, look at the Eagles could barely beat the Colts. We're like, bitch, we did though.
Yeah,
We did, and just because y'all they gave that to you half the time. That's the only reason why y'all got that many points. They gave you that game. You know,
hmm
we got to the point where we actually played them fair and square, and we had a real football score. So put it that way. Although that game did piss me off because they were struggling, but again, it comes down to scheme. If you don't scheme them correctly, then they have an advantage.
Hey, but you know
Um,
what? Got in the win column. That's all that matters. So
that's really all that matters. Ugly wins count too. So you
yeah,
know, and
because if you
honestly,
can't,
the
you
only
mean tell me you always have to blow somebody out just to win? That means
no,
what are you going to do when a team is putting up points against you? You're
and
not going to be able to win. Yeah.
that's the thing, and we always know, just like I said even before we started the season, I said that Cowboys have always been like shiny shit. You can always think that they are really top of the top of the heap, and then you find out later they're just
Yeah.
scared little rich overpaid bitches, and then at the end of the day, they will probably not even get past or even into the playoffs again because they'll find a way to screw themselves as they always do.
They had to fuck it up really bad not to make it now.
I mean, I'm just saying now, like at this point, like I
Yeah.
said, our division is starting to look really good now. But now
Yeah.
Giants and Washington fucked it up for themselves. So it's now again a battle between us and the boys. But we all know in reality, this is the problem with the Cowboys: is that when they get a very vaunted um, national look on themselves, they'll find a way to underplay
Yeah.
themselves during a really important game, and
Yeah.
then that's when the Eagles will just walk in without even trying. Watch, that's usually
Hmm.
how it happens because it's not like the Eagles haven't been in the playoffs, obviously, and it's not like the Cowboys didn't have their chance in the playoffs too. They just didn't finish it. So
Yeah.
All of us have been in there within 5 years, so we all get a taste. I just feel like at this point now we're just back to that whole stupid rivalry again, which I never like because honestly, what do we play them again after the New Year? So is that game going to matter? You know what I mean? Like at that point, I don't even think Hurts is going to be playing
it might, but it may not. I don't know. Who knows?
because that's why I said
Because if they win, if we win next week, then we get Saints, Bears. I mean,
oh yeah, I keep forgetting we're playing the Saints. I don't know why I didn't think we were playing the Saints.
because they're a forgettable team. That's why.
Well, okay, Saints can be that could be a oopsie. That could go either way. That's one of those pick'em games. That could go either way. Honestly, I feel like every game this point is up to the Eagles to decide to win or lose. I don't feel like any game at this point is intimidating because I was more worried about the Titans and I was worried about Green Bay. Those are the only two
I was
teams I
worried
was
about the
really worried
Giants
about.
up until like last week.
We haven't played them yet, though, right?
No, yeah, but we played them this week coming up. So,
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like so we haven't even played them. That's why I say like, and at some point, Giants games ends up always being tight for some dumb reason. So I wouldn't be
it
shocked if
will
this is
be
like another like
another nail
17 to
biter.
14 win. Yeah,
Yeah,
like it's gonna come down to a field goal or some annoying shit. And weather-wise, you don't even know what happens because usually around this time of year, sometimes they have a random flurry snowstorm comes out of nowhere.
yeah.
So
Because I think
because it's
we're
freaking
there.
cold out there.
We play them. Are we here or there? I think we're there.
We're
Let me see.
there this weekend, yeah, because
Yeah,
they said they're starting in a way string. So we
yeah.
had our fun because I didn't even know the Titans game was here. I thought they were going to Tennessee. So now that I know
Oh
that,
no,
now I know that
we
these
got
are the
a
games.
yeah, we got a 3 game road trip and
Yeah, because
then
they're
back.
going to New Orleans, right?
Yeah, hold up. Let me see.
Because either way, they're going to have to practice that. I don't care who's quarterback in there. They usually still get loud.
No, I think they're here.
Are they here with the Saints?
Let's
I
see.
haven't looked into the schedule in a while myself, but all I know is that if they're in the dome, they're going to have to practice on. I mean, if they're worried about false starts, then they definitely got to get that shit nailed down by then because the dome is always loud, no matter who's quarterback in New Orleans. So they got to get that figured out because that'll be an issue if they can't get on the same page early.
Yeah, they're here. They're home. They're going to be here
Okay.
against the Saints.
Okay. Well, either way.
That's New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
New Year's Day. Well, that makes sense actually because
I mean, that game may not mean anything. I'll be honest with you.
I don't think it will, especially after New Year's. I think honestly, the last December game, what we play the 30th, that'll be probably the most
Yeah,
important
those
game as
last two
far as
games
yeah.
ain't gonna mean
So
much. Yeah,
yeah,
the last game of the year against the Giants.
always ending with the Giants. I tell you, some of those games
Remember,
sometimes.
well, for years, remember we used to end with the Cowboys for the past couple of years too.
Yeah, and they started mixing that up. That's why I got thrown off when we played them earlier this year.
Yeah,
Because I was like, what the hell? We normally don't play them till like just before the bye, or
yeah, yep.
Actually, it wasn't this year. Take it back because we did play them before the bye. It was the year before we played them like week 3, and it was so weird. I was like, why are we playing them so
Didn't
early?
play them again until the end of the year. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, all right. So before we wrap, Eddie, we got to talk about the Phillies news.
Welcome
We
Trea
finally
Turner.
got Trea Turner. Now, where did he come
Yeah,
from? The Cubs. Where do we get him from? Rockies.
Dodgers.
Dodgers. Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, this is the guy that is known infamously as sliding into home base and standing up like Chase Utley did.
Like floating into the
Literally floating into the base and standing up like nothing happened. So this is the
look,
guy that Bryce has brought to us telekinetically and then somehow made it work. So
the guy's a great hitter. He's a great fielder. I mean,
this is what we need.
this is what we need. I mean, he's a great shortstop, and I think they got him locked down for 11 years.
11 years, 300 million. I'm like, okay, so who's
and
going? Because I didn't
does,
think they could afford him.
And he doesn't want to be traded. Well, remember, we had a lot of people leave, so
I just feel like they're like, because I wish there was a way to get rid of Castellanos. I know they can't, but I need to get rid of Sleepy Nicky because I don't have faith in him anymore. I know they're not. I'm just saying him and Reese to me, I thought were going to be the trading blocks. If
I think
they
he'll
got
be fine. He was starting to hit better towards the end of the year. That injury fucked him up too. So, but he started. He looked. Hey, look, he did good in the playoffs. So I mean, I'll give him.
Now, which one are you talking about?
No, Nick.
Okay, because Nick had me nervous because he moved into Ben's mansion, and I feel like his brain stayed in that house because I don't think he had any kind of confidence.
Maybe the ghost finally left that house towards the end of the year.
I'm
I don't
praying
know.
because Ben looked like he's back to normal, so maybe Nick will be back to normal
Man,
next
maybe he'll
season.
sell it and move. Like
I'm hoping because I just feel like
get
wherever
all
he
that
was supposed to sell, it was not hitting for us all the time.
get all that bad juju out of the house.
Seriously, I want to just mail him sage if I knew where he lived. I'd be like, dude, take a whole bunch of these and
Burn,
just burn them before
just
every
burn it.
game.
Open all your windows and burn everything.
All your
That's it.
windows, walk around just like, like you're spreading anointing oil. But this is good, obviously a good look for the Phillies. We know that like you said, they needed help. We also know that Bryce will be out for at least until midsummer,
Yeah.
from recovering for Tommy John.
And,
So,
and that could be. I mean, we could bring up Derek Hall to take that spot.
oh yeah, Guy Smiley, yeah, we liked him. He's a very happy guy, very thankful to be in the
I
league
mean,
still. So
the
they
guy
bring
can
him up.
hit. The guy can hit, man. Like, he's been doing his time down in AAA. I mean, he's been
Mhm.
killing it. So
Well, this is good. I mean, we need the bats. We need now that they know that they could actually make the World Series. Imagine with an extra bat. Imagine with Bryce
uh,
not having to deal with that UCL anymore.
yeah, but don't be surprised if you see them go out and get a pitcher too. We need a pitcher
Well, that's still. I mean, to me, that's why I say I
because
get nervous because I don't think this. Obviously, they just start in winter
because
meetings.
they let Eflin go. Eflin is
Yeah,
gone,
I saw Eflin went.
which
Yeah,
is fine. Good riddance.
yeah,
Goodbye.
yeah. I didn't care.
And then also Kyle Gibson went to. He signed with somebody for a year.
Okay.
I know. Our boy Eflin went to the Blue Jays, or no, the Rays. He went to the Rays, I think.
Yeah, he went to the Rays.
Yeah,
I know that they said also that Verlander is now a Met.
yeah, he's
So
sound money. Well, Degrom is a freaking
DeGrom is now
a
as a Texas Ranger, I think.
Texas Ranger. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my God, I saw so many people from New York on Twitter spitting, highly pissed, highly pissed. And
yeah,
I didn't connect to who he was at first because I was like, who? And then I was like,
yeah.
oh, I'm thinking it's our guy because I was
Hmm.
like, who would sign that guy for long? Because we could barely get anything out of him. And then I realized it wasn't the same guy. So
Yeah.
do you think we're going to keep Thor? Because Thor was kind of helpful toward the end, not really a starter.
Bullpen maybe,
Yeah, I was going to say just a bullpen because I don't think
but
he's a starter.
for the right price, I don't know. But if the price is not right, they're not going to keep him.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, now
And
that we knew that,
this portion of his career, he should be okay coming out of the bullpen. He's starting to slow down a little bit, so
I was
you
going to
know,
say, yeah, I think the first
he
of the last
doesn't
couple starts.
he doesn't have the same pop he used to. So I
No, he
mean,
clearly doesn't. Because whatever this Thor was, I'm sitting there going, "What are y'all talking about? I don't see no
yeah,
Thor." I was like, "Are y'all lying about this?" Like, I'm like, "Where's the
yeah,
Thor?"
yeah. He had some crazy yeah, he had some weird yeah, just like some weird outings. It was like wow.
There were just times. The few times I remember watching him from when he was starting, I said, "Ooh, this guy doesn't need to be a starter."
Yeah,
What were they
she's
thinking?
struggling every time he was out there.
Struggling.
He'd
And I
work
said to
his way
myself,
out.
the way he
He'd work his
throws,
way out of
like,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I know, but still.
but it's just annoying. Like, come on, man, you work your way out at 4 innings in, and you're like already like done.
And that's when I felt like they were snake bitten for a half, like before. That's why I knew when I told you I was so mad about the angry way they limped out of the regular season. I said, "There's too many mediocre pitchers. We don't need mediocre pitchers."
we technically only had three real starters
That's my point,
with Ranger, like
right?
Wheeler, and
And then
Nola,
Ranger started to get tired, so
and
his arm
Nola.
started to show. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And Nola, don't get me started on Nola, but I know everybody still likes him.
But Nola had his best career year.
I get it, but
You
you know
know,
me,
so
I'm like too many
I
bombs
think
in the throat.
I think he solved his problem of not knowing what to do in the off season.
I mean, I
and
just feel
and
like he also needs to just re-examine his arm, and maybe he's missing
well,
something.
remember how he was like always having problems of pitching in September or November. He looked better this year, if that's for damn sure.
I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I guess part of me always felt like he had too many moments where he was just a little too weak armed for me so quickly, as opposed to other. And then he can be like lights out 2 games later.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I'm
yeah,
so confused. I'm like, how does the same person do a complete game, and then the next time he can't get past the 4th inning? You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's stuff like that that's annoying. And that's why I say we had too many of those mediocre arms, which, like I said, I'm going to go back to what I always say. You play that many games, you can't expect guys to be perfect throughout 162 games.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, they're not
we
gonna
were
be.
getting, I mean, I'm just saying, but it got to the point where even when you were selling us on Thor, I'm sitting there going, ooh, somebody lied.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I'll
So,
never forget somebody had a nerve to call up to the best show ever and tell Tyrone that Syndergaard should be playing before Ranger Suarez. It's like get the fuck out of here.
yeah, and that's how you know what that's
Like,
about. That's just
like
idiocy. That's just
Like you
idiocy.
really, Ranger's been solid. You talking about? You really think Syndergaard gets to start before Ranger? I mean, before Ranger? No,
Before
no,
first
he
of
should
all,
not.
between Ranger and Alvarado being the hugest surprises, as far as improvement,
I like
that should be the
Alvarado out of
last
the
two
bullpen.
guys.
I like
Oh
him
my
out of the
god.
bullpen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope we sign him.
Yeah,
We hope we sign him or get him arbitration or something like because we need to keep him in the bullpen. We
I
need that
agree.
if he can keep bringing him out in the eighth and
He was amazing.
bring Sir Anthony out
Hmm.
for the ninth.
For the ninth, yeah. He's definitely I felt like all along we kind of knew Sir Anthony was the closer, but because his injury was so dicey,
Yeah,
but he is technically the new closer in my eyes.
yeah, I think he should be the new closer.
He should
You
only be for
use
the ninth inning.
yeah you use Alvarado for the eighth,
Hmm.
seventh or eighth. You go out and get another guy, another relief guy because right now they don't have a long relief guy because Ranger was their long relief guy until they had to
Right.
move
Now
him up.
he kind of it's funny how he went backwards whereas Thor went, you know, well
Yeah,
technically he went forward but Thor went backwards because, Thor became the guy that they used at the end and then
and
Ranger worked his way to
again,
start.
Ranger's fearless. He doesn't care. He's like, I'll pitch to
Well, his
anything.
confidence obviously
He's
boosted
like,
up from the
he's
season
like, I will
before.
pitch to anything. And
Right.
even if he makes mistakes, he does not panic. He's like, all right, I'm gonna.
He is very stoic. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna panic. I'm just gonna pitch out of it, and he usually does. He'll pitch out of it most of the time.
He was a pleasant surprise, I will say.
Yeah,
Between him and Alvarado, they were a pleasant surprise. They could get rid of David Robertson. I don't think he really helps them
yeah. I
too
think
much.
I think I think that horse is.
I think he meant well, but I just feel like whatever they thought they had left in him was not reliable.
He didn't have anything left in the tank.
I didn't think so either, but what else are we gonna do? Because they couldn't get anything out of Kyle either. It was like down to your last couple arms. Once you start going by committee on one night, it's like, ooh, that's not good.
I mean, most teams have at least four starters. We only had three.
And I
You
didn't even
know,
mind the Bailey Falter kid every now and then.
oh,
Like,
Fulton, you know what? Just keep developing him because
yeah, yeah.
he can turn into your low end fourth or fifth guy.
I think he's decent enough to let them develop him. Like, I agree
Yeah,
with you because I feel like there was something there. Because sometimes, even though he threw really weird,
yeah,
I thought that he also
yeah,
was reliable in games where other
yeah.
guys were resting. I wasn't worried too much about the
Yeah,
game with
if you
him.
develop them, yeah, you can have
Yeah,
you can get a 4 or 5 whole spot guy out of them. You
yeah.
know,
So,
you just
there's a lot of potential, but Trey will definitely, obviously, be a very exciting addition to spring.
don't be surprised if you see them spend some more money and sign a pitcher
Yeah, because the meetings just started. They said.
or an outfielder.
Yeah, because the meetings just started. They said so. You never know. A couple weeks, we may have new news. So you never know.
Somebody was saying that we should bring back because we only need a guy that we don't need an everyday guy for the outfield. Somebody said
Mhm.
we should bring McCutcheon back because
I
we need
honestly,
it.
I have no problem with that, and I
I don't
don't
have
think
either.
there's
He's
wrong
a
with that.
solid bat, good locker room guy, great defense, good
I'm
defense.
still mad they even let him go. I didn't think it was that hard to keep him, at least give
Yeah,
him the minimum. But he needs to come back. I feel like he belonged here. I miss his memes. I miss Uncle
yeah.
Larry.
Miss Uncle Larry.
I
Yep.
feel like even when he did hit, it was great. When he did field, he was decent. Like, I don't think he was that horrible that he couldn't come back if they work something out
Yeah,
for at least for a
I
year.
would like to see him back for a year.
Yeah, I'm about to put on my t-shirt and take a picture on Twitter and
Like bring back Uncle
hit him up, be
Larry.
like, bring back Uncle Larry. But all right, Ed. So we happy. We in the win column again, 11-1. This is, we got more. They got more work to do, but I'm happy. And then, like I said, pray that we get Avante back like this week. It would definitely help these guys out because even though Josiah Scott was doing okay, and obviously we love our guy Reed Blankenship now because you can tell this kid's slowly starting to figure it out more and more. So you just
Yeah,
never know what's gonna happen. So
yeah.
the CoEd edition will return as the week goes on. And hopefully, like I said, we'll have more news in next week. Go Sixers tonight. They're playing Houston.
And the return
And
of the beard, right? Return
the
of the
beard
beard
is
tonight.
back, supposedly. So we'll see what happens. So, and
Yeah.
we're praying for Maxi to come back next because he's our next.
Oh yeah.
We need a full roster because the Sixers been hurting like crazy right now.
They're
So
struggling. Yeah.
struggle bus Sixers. But all right, we love them. Thanks for
Oh
watching
yeah.
all. It's the CoEd edition. Bird of a Feather, AJ the Suburban Princess, Eddie B. We are
Yep.
out. Have a great
Later.
week. Be safe and don't drink and drive. Love you.